Good morning. So in addition to all of the various August chores, I have been cleaning my windows, which is a big chore, a lot of windows. So I am thinking quite a bit about the clear lens. I don't know if you can see on the screen, but I've cleaned this one and not this one, and wow, the difference is quite intense. So if you work with me in my philosophy classes or private yoga lessons, we will certainly refer to the fact that the lens, the perspective through which we're seeing and experiencing the world is dirty, distorted, cracked a little maybe. I mean, we don't see very clearly. There are references in the Bible to the idea of seeing through the glass darkly. I think that's a similar idea. So part of our work in the yoga practice is to clear the lens, to try to rid ourselves of the things that distort our perspectives. Jessica Char calls the kleshas the things that darken the mind. We could also think of them as the things that darken the lens or distort the clear perception, however they do that. So there's the issue of clearing the lens, and the yoga practice is the work that we do to that end. There's also a very important concept about perspective, darshana or darshan. The word, you may have heard the word. Yoga is one of the 6 darshans, points of view, philosophies. Or you could talk about the idea of having guru darshan, being in the presence of the guru, being seen by the guru, seeing the guru, receiving the blessing. But darshan, we can also think of, it's our particular point of view, and we all have one. So no matter how clean we get our lens, we're still going to be seeing out through this particular organism, which is very important to remember. One of the most valuable life skills is catching yourself if you find yourself thinking, well, that's not what I would have done, or I don't like the way she did that. That's not what I would say, or any millions of variations on that theme. When someone else acts like themselves rather than us, we often don't like that, but that is quite absurd, actually. And no matter how clean we get the lens, we're each seeing through our own particular point of view. And this is not a matter of correct or incorrect. Say, like, which window has the correct view of the lilac bush? This one or this one? They both have a particular point of view. So it's not a matter of, everything is relative and everyone's point of view is relevant. That's a different issue. The point of view is this, that everyone is having a very real experience, and we're experiencing through our own lens, our own organism, which is comprised of a multitude of factors. So yes, this window is clean right now. I can see the lilac more clearly than I can through this one. But aside from the difference of the lens, I'm not going to say that this point of view is more correct than this one. It's particular. We each have a particular point of view. And for our purposes here, as far as a relational tool, it's a great form of checking in with ourselves. Are we getting frustrated with other people because they're being themselves and not us? That is a thing to notice. We can't go through the world being angry whenever someone else has a different perspective. Not to say that I'm right or that person's right, but we need to remember that we are always seeing through our own particular lens. So, when we're thinking about our lens, of course we experience through many avenues, but we'll think about the eye today. We get so much input, and it's a really nice metaphor and use of a way to bring this idea into the practice. How do we clean the lens? We do tapas, we do practice, we discipline ourselves. And how do we start to understand that I have a particular point of view, you have a particular point of view, and every being has a particular point of view. We're just going to notice our gaze today. So the idea of darshan means point of view or perspective. The idea of drishti means maintaining a steady gaze. And our tapas is going to be to keep attending to what our eyes are doing and to keep them steady. And we will choose different drishti points, different points on which to place the gaze. And the overall darshan is to start to recognize that something is looking out through this organism, not just the organism, the physical organism, but also the organism as comprised with everything that this particular organism has been through. Please stand in samastiti to begin. Let your feet reach down into the ground and the top of the head gently reach towards the ceiling. I want to think about the eyes looking at the horizon. So you're probably not in a wide open space right now, but the horizon is in front of us, and a little down if you think about how you are if you're out in the open plain. Eventually it's going to go a little bit down, so very long, low angle, but basically chin parallel to the floor, top of the head reaching up, gaze comfortably in front of us, shoulders relaxed. Close the lips and breathe through your nose. We don't need to use ujjayi yet. We're not going to link the breath and the movements quite yet, but do keep the lips closed and breathe through the nose if you can. So notice a point that you can identify and come back to on which the gaze is resting. I'm going to bring the attention to the eyes. And simply let the eyes move up towards the ceiling, and then let the eyes move down towards the floor. And then again up towards the ceiling, and down towards the floor. One more time, up to the ceiling, and down to the floor. And then let the eyes rest in the center, coming back to that predetermined point. Again, lips are gently closed, breath is relaxed. We'll keep the head still, and then let the eyes look over to the left, and then over to the right, and the left, and the right, the left, and the right, and then come back into the center. And then let's make circles 3 ways. We're just circling the eyes. You can start by looking up and then circle around 1 time, 2 times, and 3 times in this direction, and then reverse, go the other way for 3 times. You may notice that at certain points of the circle it feels smooth, and certain points perhaps it doesn't. And then come back into the center, resting your eyes on that predetermined point. Relax the neck and shoulders. This is another reason why I chose this practice. Obviously, with the all of the work I'm doing on the windows, my neck and shoulders are feeling it. And you will notice that the eye muscles have a lot to do actually with what's going on in the fine muscles of the neck. Okay, so now we're going to move the head and the eyes as one unit. So we're just thinking of the eyeballs resting in the head, and now moving the head with the eyes staying still in the head. And we'll do the same group of movements. This time we're going to tilt the chin up, and the gaze is going to go up because we're lifting our face towards the ceiling, gently stretching the front of the neck, and then let the chin fall down towards the floor. And see if your eyes will just sweep smoothly down as the gaze comes to rest downward. Let's do the same thing again. Tilt the face up. Let the eyes just gently ride in the eye sockets as the chin reaches up towards the ceiling. And then drop the chin down and see if the eyes will just take a ride, being still. It's not their nature. And come down to rest on the floor one more time. Tilt the chin up. Let the eyes relax and ride in the skull. And then drop the chin down. Keep the eyes steady. This does not mean you can't blink. Please blink at any time you need to during the practice. And then come back into the center. And the eyes are going to the predetermined point. The head's resting easily on top of the spine. And now we're going to turn the head. And again, try to just let the eyes take a ride in the skull. We'll turn to the left, letting the head and the eyes turn. And come back into the center, letting the head and the eyes turn together. So don't overlook. Just move the eyes as far as the head moves. We'll go again to the left. Later, we're going to actually try looking when we're turning the head, but for now, just turn the eyes as much as the head turns to the center and then over to the right. One more time each direction. Just let the eyes take a ride in the skull. So you're sweeping the eyes along one line in front of you, continuous line at the same height along the ceiling, and then come back into the center. Now we're going to do that same movement, adding the arms and now adding our breath. We'll begin a gentle Ujjayi breath through the nose. With the inhale, the gaze stays in the center, arms will come out wide, floating to shoulder height, palms up, nice and easy in the shoulders. And we're going to turn the whole upper body over to the left side and let the right hand come across the chest. Your eyes are traveling in the skull and come back into the center. So trace the eyes along one continuous line in the room, and then exhale, we'll turn over to the right, letting the left hand come across the chest and turning the upper body, including the eyes, and float back into the center, letting the eyes be as still as possible in the eye sockets. Again, to the left. Exhale as you turn the upper body, reaching the right hand across, and coming back into the center, letting the gaze move steadily across the same height in the wall. Exhale to the right side, letting the left hand come across the chest. And inhale, gaze traveling at one height. We'll go one more time each direction. Exhale to the left. And inhale to the center. And exhale to the right. And inhale to the center. Exhale, bring the arms down to the sides. Relax the breath, the shoulders. Stand tall, easeful, gaze is relaxed, but steady on the point in the center. Okay, we're going to move into Virabhadrasana. So we'll keep the hips steady. Turn the right toes slightly out and bring the left foot forward. We're going to work with the left hand resting on the left thigh. We're going to move the head and the eyes simultaneously when we do our little back bend. So we will be tilting our chin up towards the ceiling and letting the eyeballs again travel in the eye sockets. With the inhale, we'll tilt the chin up as we raise the right arm and bend the left knee. That's our inhale. Then with the exhale, lower the arm, straighten the leg, bring the head and the gaze back down so you're looking out over the horizon. Let's do that again. Inhale, raise the right arm, bend the left knee, tilt the chin up, and let the face and the eyes contained there, tilt up. And then as you exhale, bring the head down, the arm down, the leg straight. One more time. Inhale, raise the arm, bend the knee, tilt the chin gently. Only go as far as it's comfortable for the neck. And exhale, lower the arm, lower the chin, straighten the leg. We're going to move into the pose and stay for 3 breaths. Inhale, raise the right arm, bend the left knee, tilt the chin up. The gaze is going to travel up because the eyes are in the skull. And keep your gaze steady there. Stay and exhale. Gently hug the belly. Stay and inhale. So steady gaze. Again, feel free to blink as necessary. Stay for another exhale. Chin is tilted up only as far as it's comfortable. And an inhale. One more complete breath. And then with the exhale, the arm comes down, the chin drops down, the leg straightens. Your gaze returns to the point in front of you. Relax both arms at the sides. We're going to leave the legs as they are. And we're going to move into Parsvottanasana, the asymmetrical forward bend. Now when we raise our arms, our head and our gaze will not be lifting. We're going to keep the head steady on our inhale, and then when we exhale and bend forward, we're going to direct the gaze towards the point behind us. The leg will stay straight and head will stay steady. Inhale, take both arms out to the sides and up. And with the exhale, we'll bend down, keep the legs straight, bring your hands behind the back, fold forward, and let your gaze move towards the wall behind you. And then we'll lift again with the inhale, arms wide, leg is still straight, come back up to the top, but keep the gaze steady, you're on your original point. Exhale, we're going to bend down again. Letting the hands come to the back, leg stays straight, we're folding forward, fixing the gaze behind, and then lifting up with the inhale. Gaze is on your original point. One more time like that, bend down. Let the eyes travel in the head as you fold forward. And lift up to the top on the inhale, letting the head and the gaze lift to the original point. And now we'll go down and stay for 3 breaths. As you exhale, fold down. And establish your gaze behind you. Stay while you inhale. And stay while you exhale. Keep the gaze steady. Again, inhale. And exhale. One more breath here. And we'll inhale, take the arms out, lift up, gaze on the original point, and exhale, lower the arms. Relax the shoulders, relax the breath. Keep the gaze steady. Step the left foot back to meet the right. And you can look down to arrange the feet well, and then reestablish your samastiti with the gaze steady. Eyes towards the horizon, choosing one point to look at, relaxing there for a moment. Again, please feel free to blink as necessary and soften the gaze. Even though we're looking at one point, no intense glare or stare, just an easy, continuous gaze. And then we're going to take the other side. So we'll steady the hips, placing the hands on the hips. Turn the left toes slightly out. And bring the right foot forward. Establishing a steady stance on both feet. Right hand is going to come onto the front of the right thigh. So for this initial pose, the Virabhadrasana, the head and the eyes are going to move. We'll lift the chin, and that's going to ask the eyeballs to move with the head towards the ceiling. With that inhale, we'll raise the left arm, bend the right knee, and tilt the head back so that the gaze goes towards the ceiling. Only tilt back as far as it's okay for your neck. And then exhale, lower the arm, lower the chin, straighten the leg. When I say lower the chin, I mean return to your original gaze point. Again, inhale, bend the knee, raise the arm, let the head tilt back so that the gaze goes up. And then exhale, tilt the chin down so the arm comes down, the head comes down, the leg straightens. Again, inhale, raise the arm, bend the knee, let the head tilt back. Gaze is lifted because the eyes are moving in the skull. Exhale, arm down, head down, leg straight. And now we're going to go into the pose for 3 breaths. Inhale, raise the arm, bend the knee, let the head tilt gently. Make sure your neck is comfortable, no tension here. We'll stay in exhale, keeping the gaze steady. And inhale. Again, exhale. Nice, slow, supported breath, easing in the shoulders. And inhale, gently draw the breath in. One more breath in place there. Then with the exhale, the arm comes down, the head lowers, the leg straightens. Relax the breath. We're going to keep the legs as they are. And move into the asymmetrical forward bend. Leg will stay straight and we will not tilt our chin up or move our gaze up at all in this pose. Inhale, take the arms out to the sides and lift. Then exhale, we bend forward, hands come to the back. As you bend down, let your eyeballs just travel in the skull and find a point behind you. And then inhale, lift. Arms wide, legs stay straight, coming up. The gaze is coming to your original point. And exhale, we bend down. Letting the eyes move in the skull. Folding down and finding a point behind. Inhale, arms out and up. Lift. Return the gaze to the original point. And move forward like that once again. Tilt down. Find a place behind you. And inhale, lift without tilting the chin. Keeping the gaze steady. And then we're going to move down into stay. Exhale, fold down. Hands behind the back. Gaze softly linked to one point behind you as we stay for 3 breaths. Let the neck relax. The weight of the skull is pulling down gently on the spine. After 3 breaths, we'll use an inhale to come up. Raise the arms, lift up, establish your original gaze point. And exhale, arms down. Gaze is soft and steady. And we'll bring the right foot back to meet the left foot. Align the feet. Return the gaze to the point in front of you. Soften the eyes, the face, the neck. Relax the shoulders. Allow the breath to breathe itself. Soft, steady gaze. The Purusha is called the seer sometimes, the self. This soft, steady gaze is my best way of understanding it. It's the energy that is gazing out through this particular experience. And it's gazing out through every particular experience. So the soft gaze, allowing us to begin to connect with the gazer. Who is it that's looking out through these instruments, through these experiences? into a forward bend. And again here, we're never going to be tilting our chin up or looking up. We're going to move the eyeballs in the skull as we go in and out of the pose. Even when we come up out of the pose, be careful not to project the chin forward or pull the gaze up. So beginning with the gaze steady so that you know the point to which you'll return each time you come up out of the forward bend. We'll keep the gaze steady on that point and inhale, raise the arms forward and up. With the exhale, we fold forward, thinking of your eyeballs just moving in your skull as you come down into the forward bend. This will put them looking towards the wall behind you. Relax the neck and shoulders. And then keep the eyes in the head as you inhale and come up to the top without projecting the chin or the eyes. Exhale, lower the arms down to the front. Gaze is steady on your pre-selected point. We'll do that twice more. Inhale, raise the arms forward and up. Keeping the eyes steady in the skull. We'll bend forward. As we fold down, the gaze sweeps smoothly on an arc and ends up looking behind. And then we'll come up again. Sweep the gaze steadily on the arc. Try not to have your eyes precede the movement. And exhale. Lower the arms down. Precede. Don't let the gaze precede the movement. Let the gaze move with the head. Inhale. Raise the arms forward and up. Keep the gaze steady. And continue to keep the eyes steady so you're sweeping down on a nice smooth arc. As you fold down, the eyes come behind you. And sweep the gaze forward with the head, not ahead of the head as you come up to the top. And exhale, arms down. And now we're going to move into the forward bend to stay 3 breaths down in the position. Inhale, float the arms forward and up. Gaze soft and steady. Keep the eyeballs soft and steady in the skull as you fold down. They sweep down and come to land on a point behind you where we'll stay for 3 breaths. Breath long and smooth as you stay. Relax the neck. Continue to softly steady the gaze behind you. When you've completed the 3 breaths in the forward bend, we'll float up to the top. Again, let the eyes stay in a steady position, lifting up in the skull, coming to rest on your pre-selected point. Exhale the arms down the front. Keep the gaze soft and steady as you relax the breath and relax the body in Samastiti. Let's take a wide stance. We're going to work with Trikonasana. We'll begin with the legs wide and the feet parallel to each other. We're going to keep the front of the body, the breastbone, the navel, the pubic bone, the hips, all square towards the wall in front the whole time. So keeping the pelvis steady, we'll begin by turning the left leg out in the socket. And then relaxing the arms down to the sides. Give your head just balancing nicely on top of the spine so there's as little tension as possible in the neck. Gaze soft and steady in front of you. We will be turning the head. When the head turns, let the eyes turn with the head. So we're letting the eyes rest gently in the eye sockets. Inhale. Flip the arms out wide, palms forward, coming to shoulder height with the palms forward. With the exhale, we're going to bend down to the left leg, so the face is still forward at this point. Right arm is up to the ceiling. Then inhale, we're going to turn the head, which will turn the gaze to look up at the right hand. And then we'll turn the head back to the center, which will turn the head, the eye gaze back to the center. And then inhale, lift up to the top. Exhale, arms down to the sides. Again, like that twice more. Inhale, arms float wide. Eyes resting in the skull as we exhale. Side bend, gaze, face forward. And then inhale, turn the head, which will turn the gaze up towards the ceiling. Exhale, turn the head, which will bring the gaze back to the wall in front of you. And inhale, come up to the top. Exhale, arms down the sides. Once more like that. Inhale, raise the arms. Comfortably wide, shoulders soft. Exhale, take your side bend towards the left side. And then inhale, turn the head and look up at the right hand. Exhale, turn the head, move slowly. Bring your head, face, gaze all forward. Inhale, come up to the top, arms wide. Exhale, arms down to the sides. And now we'll move into this pose and stay. Inhale, arms float wide. Keep your eyes forward. You should see your fingertips in your peripheral vision. Exhale, side bend towards the left side. Inhale, turn the head, which will turn the gaze and look up at the right hand. And then we're going to stay, exhale, keep the gaze steady, and stay, inhale. We're going to slow the breath down. Stay for the exhale, and slowly inhale. One more complete breath there. Then we'll exhale and turn the head to the front. And inhale, stand up tall, arms wide. Exhale, the arms will come down. We will unrotate the left foot and step into the center, Samasthiti. Now you have a different orientation, but find that point like you're looking at the horizon and let your gaze rest there as you relax the breath. Find your relaxed, steady balance in Samasthiti. Soft, steady gaze. Looking out through this instrument. Attempting to make the lens as clear as possible. Clear the lens will mean fewer opinions, likes, dislikes, less self-defense, less fear, less protection. All of those things cloud the lens. Right, we'll take the feet wide again. Let's place the hands on the hips and keep the pelvis steady and rotate the right leg out in the socket. Then relax the arms down. Know where your gaze is in front of you. We're going to keep the gaze on that point, except when we're turning the head towards the ceiling. Inhale, move the arms out wide with the palms forward, fingertips in your peripheral vision. Exhale, side bend, right hand to right leg. Your gaze is still forward here. And then you're going to inhale and turn and look up at the left hand. Exhale and turn and look to the front. And then inhale, rise up to the top. Exhale, arms lower down to the sides, gaze steady to the front. Inhale, arms wide, gaze soft and steady to the front. Exhale, side bend to the right, maintaining your gaze on that same point. And then as you inhale, turn the head, which will turn the gaze up towards the left hand. And exhale, turn the gaze to the center, returning to the spot in front of you. Inhale, stand up, arms wide, head centers. Exhale, arms down to the sides. One more time like that. Inhale, arms wide, gaze soft and steady. And exhale, side bend. Gaze is still to the front. And then we're going to inhale, turn the head so that the gaze travels up to the left fingertips. Exhale, turn the head so the gaze recenters. And inhale, come up to the top, arms wide. Exhale, arms down. And now we prepare to stay. Inhale, arms wide. And exhale, side bend to the right side. Inhale, turn the head, look up, and then stay and exhale. Keep the gaze soft and steady. And stay and inhale, so you can slow the breath down here. Again, gaze soft and steady, stay. One more breath. Then we exhale, turn the head to the center. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, arms lower down to the sides. Unrotate the right foot. And step back into Samasthiti. Arranging the feet and then finding your tall, relaxed stance. Steady gaze at the horizon, top of the head lifting towards the ceiling, shoulders dropped. Breath relaxed. Gazing out. Being aware that there is a gazer. There's an instrument of gazing, and then there's the thing that's looked upon. Okay, let's take the legs wide again. We're going to move into a forward bend, this time staying in the forward bend for 6 breaths, finding that point behind us and keeping the gaze softly focused on that point as we relax the neck and fold into the forward bend. Keeping the gaze steady, the chin down. Inhale, raise the arms forward and up. Exhale, we're going to fold forward, letting your gaze sweep down on the arc. Hands can come onto the back, the legs, the floor, wherever they're comfortable. And we'll stay for 6 breaths. Find that one point behind you. Keep the breath steady as the gaze stays there. Relax the neck. Let the head feel heavy on the top of the spine. Three more slow breaths. Once you've completed the 6 breaths, be aware of your eyeballs resting in the eye sockets. As you inhale, float your arms forward and up, come up to the top, keeping the chin and the gaze down throughout. Exhale, lower the arms down the front. Relax the breath. We'll step the feet together. Samasthiti, gazing at your original point. We'll tilt the chin up and let the gaze go up. And she'll tilt the chin down and let the gaze go down. Come to the center. Turn the head and the gaze to the left. to the center. Turn the head and the gaze to the right. And back into the center. And again, we're going to tilt the chin and the gaze up. And finish by tilting the chin and the gaze down. And then back up into the center. Eyes focused on the original point. We're going to move into Chakravakasana, and we're going to try to do this with the eyes closed, but allow the chin to move up and down as we're moving the spine. We're going to come to all fours. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the chest. Once you have that set, let's close the eyes gently. With the inhale, bring the breastbone forward and tilt the chin up. And with the exhale, bring your tailbone down, your chin down, move your hips back to your heels. Relax your elbows to the floor. Eyes gently closed. Inhale, lift up onto the all fours. Pull the breastbone forward and then open the front of the throat so the chin tilts. And exhale, roll the chin under, the tailbone under. Bring the hips back to the heels. Relax the elbows to the floor. Faces relaxed, eyes closed. Inhale, up to the all fours. Open the breastbone and gently open the front of the throat. And exhale, tuck the chin, tuck the tail. Relax the elbows down to the floor as the hips come back to the heels. Try that 3 more times on your own. Relax the eyes as much as possible, even though the eyelids are closed. Stay in the final child's pose for a moment. With the breath relaxed, the eyes continue to be closed. Now we'll stretch out onto the stomach. We're going to work with the arms in a wide cactus pose. And the head will begin turned to the left. So you're resting on your right ear. There will be head movements. We're going to lift the upper torso. We'll keep the arms and the legs down throughout. So with the inhale, please lift the chest and the head. Turn your head into the center. With your exhale, just tuck your chin down towards the notch of the neck. And then you inhale, push your hands into the floor and pull your chest forward, but keep looking down as though you're trying to look down the front of your shirt. And then as you exhale, we're going to lower the head to the floor. Turn the head over to the right. And let's relax and take a breath here. And then we're going to do it again. Inhale, raise the head and the chest. Turn the head into the center. As you exhale, tuck your chin down. And you're trying to look down the front of the body. And then keep the chin tucked and inhale. Pull your breastbone forward. Gently press your hands into the floor. And then as you exhale, we'll turn the head over to the left, lower down to the floor, and take a breath here. Then inhale, raise the chest and the head. Head's turned into the center, breastbone lifted. As you exhale, tuck your chin towards the notch of the neck. And keep the chin tucked and inhale, pull the breastbone forward, gently pressing the hands down into the floor. Then with the exhale, turn the head over to the right side, lower the head down and stay, take a breath. And again, we'll inhale, lift the chest and the head, drawing the breastbone forward. Exhale, tuck the chin down. And then keep your chin tucked and inhale, pull your chest forward, pressing the hands gently down into the floor. So exhale, turn the head over to the left side. Inhale, raise the chest, stay for a breath. And then inhale, raise the chest and the head, lifting to the center. Exhale, tuck the chin down. Inhale, draw the breastbone forward with the chin staying tucked. And exhale, turn the head over to the right side. Stay there and take a breath. Last lift. Inhale, raise the chest and the head. Head to the center. Exhale and tuck the chin down. Keep the chin tucked, gently press into your hands as you lift the breastbone forward. And then exhale, lower down, turn to the left side, and stay for a breath there. Then we're going to come back into a child's pose. Any child's pose that feels good, let the back gently stretch, relax the neck. And then we're going to move the hands to the lower back and begin sweeping arms Vajrasana with a head turn. As we inhale, we're going to stretch the left arm out to the side and up. Stand up tall onto the knees. Lift the chest and allow the chin to tilt up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bend down. Bring your hand to your back. Turn and look to the right side. And then inhale, raise the right arm out to the side and up. Stand tall onto the knees, lift the chest, and lift the gaze upwards. Exhale, hand to the back, turn the head, lower down and look over to the left side. Again, with the left arm. Inhale, left arm out and up. Head, chest, eyes up. And exhale, bend down. Bring the hand to the back, turn and look over to the right side. And inhale, right arm, out and up, chest lifted, chin tilted gently up. And exhale, hand to the back, turn and look to the left side. Once again with each arm, inhale, left arm out and up, stand, lift and open the chest and the throat, a gaze up. Exhale, bend down, hand to the back, turn the face over to the right side. Inhale, right arm out and up. Stand up tall, opening the front of the body, chin gently tilted. And exhale, lower down. Turn the face over to the left. And then head to the center. Relax in any child's pose you prefer. Or turn onto your back and hug your knees. And if you're not there already, we're going to move on to the back. Drawing the knees into the chest. Make sure that the neck is comfortable. You may use some support behind your head. If you feel like your chin is very far tilted back, let the eyes rest easily on the ceiling, a little forward. And then close the eyes, relaxing the neck in this position. Hands can be on the knees or relaxed out on the floor. Now we're going to go into a twist, and we're going to do something a bit different from what we've been doing so far. We're going to turn the head one way and then look with the eyes in the opposite direction and maintain that for 6 breaths. If it's too much to maintain, then of course you can relax the gaze and apply it as it's possible and comfortable. We'll begin by inhaling here in the center, arms wide, a little bit lower than shoulder height, palms up. Exhale, and bring the knees over to the left side. You can use your left hand on your knees if you like. Inhale, I'm going to turn and look to the right hand, so the head and the gaze is turned, and then keep your head turned as it is, and try to look to your left shoulder, and we'll stay for 6 breaths like this. So the head is turned to the right and the gaze is going over towards the left shoulder. Relax the neck and the shoulders. And I don't mean to say that you're going to be seeing your left shoulder, but just look over towards the left as far as you comfortably can. 3 more breaths. Or let the gaze return to the right hand. And then turn the head into the center, bring the knees into the center. Rest comfortably. Close the eyes, knees are down into the chest, arms supporting the legs or resting on the floor. Relax your face. Soften the muscles around the eyes. Let the eyeballs drop down into the sockets. You can open the eyes. Take an inhale here, arms relaxed wide with the palms up. Exhale, let both knees move slowly over to the right side. If you like, right hand can rest on that left knee. We'll inhale and turn the head and the gaze over towards the left, and then keep your head turned and look over towards the right. And we'll stay for 6 breaths like that. Relaxing, breathing into the twist, continuing to move the eyeballs towards the right side. When you're done with the 6 breaths, move the eyes back over towards the left hand. And then we'll inhale and move into the center. Close the eyes. Rest comfortably with the knees drawn into the chest, the face relaxed, the breath relaxed. The head is relaxed in the center. Notice that point at the back of the head where you're in contact with the floor or your pillow. It's a little point at the back of the skull. Think about balancing right on that point. We'll keep the knees bent into the chest. Move the arms down at the sides. And do alternating arm and leg lifts. Keep the eyes closed if you can. Face soft. With the inhale, we'll raise the right foot all the way up to the ceiling and stretch the left arm towards the floor behind you. And then with the exhale, lower the arm, bend the knee. Face relaxed. Inhale, raise the right arm and the left leg. Straighten the knee, stretch the foot up. Reach the right hand towards the floor behind you. And exhale, lower the arm and bend the knee. Each pair twice more. Inhale, left arm and right leg. Keep the face soft. Keep the tailbone down on the floor. Exhale, bend the knee, lower the arm. Again with the right arm and the left leg. Inhale. Keep the tailbone down. Exhale, lower the arm, bend the knee. Your head should be steady the whole time. One more time, each pair. Inhale, left arm and right leg. And exhale, bend the knee, lower the arm. Last pair. Inhale, right arm and left leg. And exhale, lower the arm, bend the knee. We'll move directly into Apanasana. Placing one hand easily on each knee, fingertips pointing towards the toes. Relax the shoulders, relax the neck, relax the face. Eyes closed, eyeballs sinking down into the sockets. As you inhale, let your knees move out away from the chest. Let your elbows straighten slightly, your shoulders stay relaxed. And then exhale, pull the knees slowly in towards the chest, allowing the lower back to lengthen. Keep the neck relaxed. Inhale, let the knees away, filling the chest and the belly. And exhale, pull the belly in, draw the thighs in close, relax the shoulders and elbows. Again, inhale, rock the knees gently away. And exhale, pull them slowly in. Face is relaxed, eyes are closed. Do that 3 more times, please. When you're done with those, we'll bring the feet one at a time down to the floor. And as you're ready, extend one leg at a time out straight, feet as wide as the mat, hands wider than the mat, palms turned up. Moving into final relaxation. Doing that, all of that with your eyes closed, if you can do that, or as soon as you're settled, close the eyes and soften the face. Feeling the body gently dropping down into gravity. Softening the extremities, the limbs, the vague joints, the little joints. Muscles along the spine and throughout the torso. Muscles in the shoulder girdle. In the neck. In the jaw. The temples. Softening all of the muscles of expression. Soften in the space between the eyebrows. Relax around the eye sockets. And allow the eyeballs to relax completely down into those eye sockets. If your eyes are having trouble relaxing, you could palm your hands over the eyes for a moment without pressing on the eyeballs. Or you could rest an eye pillow or a small folded towel over the eyes. Once you're established in a good rest position, please remain still there for the duration of the Shavasana. Continuing to allow the body to drop down into the pull of gravity and soften the eyeballs in the sockets. Notice the body resting into gravity's pull. Feel the softening in your face. Relax around the eye sockets. Continue to allow the eyeballs to drop down. Keeping the eyes closed, let your eyeballs roll up so you're looking up towards the point between the eyebrows. And let the eyes roll down so you're looking down towards your nose. Eyeballs or eyelids closed, please. Roll the eyes up and roll them down. One more time, roll them up. Roll them back down. Come into the center. Eyelids closed. Move the eyeballs over to the left. And then to the right. And to the left. And the right. The left. And the right. And rest the eyes in the center. Bring the hands up to palm the eyes with the rim of the palm resting on the rim of the eye socket. Make some space between your actual palm and your eye. No pressure on the eye at all. And then take an inhale and allow the arms to reach up overhead. Stretch yourself long. And then release the arms down. Keep your eyes closed as you roll to the right side. And then slowly open your eyes and sit yourself up comfortably on a cushion or the edge of a chair. And once you have yourself upright, well, again, close the eyes. Actually, I'm sorry, first with your eyes open, find your gaze on the horizon so that you're neither too far up or down with your chin. Just looking at an easy, straight ahead position. And once your head is there, close the eyes. Relax the shoulders. We're going to do a short pranayama with the gaze directed to the point between the eyebrows. This is Krishna's instruction in the Bhagavad Gita about how to meditate. We're going to roll the eyes up to look at the point between the eyebrows with the eyes closed. We're going to keep the eyes in that position. And inhale, imagine the breath coming directly into that point. Keep the eyes rolling up, and as you exhale, start your attention at your sit bones and move your attention back up to the point between the eyebrows. And keep the gaze slightly up as you inhale. Imagine the breath coming in through that point between the eyebrows. Keep the gaze up and exhale from the sit bones up to the point between the eyebrows. Again, inhale. Breathe in through the third eye. Eyeballs are directed upwards. And exhale, lift your breath from your sit bones up to the space between the eyebrows. Take a couple more breaths like that. If the gaze gets tired, of course, you can relax it, lower the eyes slightly, and then lift them again when they're ready. Relax the eyes for a moment. Check that your neck is comfortable, your shoulders are relaxed. Let the breath release. I'm going to keep the breath relaxed and natural and take just a minute or so with the gaze directed upwards again, this time with a relaxed breath, so moving into a short meditation. And we're actually rolling the eyeballs up. If you need to take a break from that, go ahead and do that. Let your attention rest at the point between the eyebrows throughout. So raise the gaze to the point between the eyebrows with the eyes closed. Rest the attention on that point, keeping the breath relaxed. We'll stay for a short meditation. As you're ready, relax the eyes. Once again, we'll take a moment to palm the eyes, bringing the hands up, rims of the palm resting on the rims of the eye sockets, making space between the palm and the eyeball itself, no pressure onto the eye. Relax the breath, soften the shoulders. Gaze relaxed here. And then keep the eyes closed. Bring the hands down to the heart. Keep that space between the rim of the palm, the rims of the palms. So the rims of the palms are touching. There's a little space in the palm. Even with the eyes closed, notice the sense of light coming through the eyelids. Keep the face relaxed. Slowly open the eyes so the eyes rest on the horizon. The eyes are the instruments through which our brain sees. Our whole being, our whole experience is the instrument through which the seer gazes. Each of us has a particular point of view. Each of us needs to work to clean our own particular lens and realize that everything that we're perceiving is coming through this point of view, this darshana. Good way to be humble and remember that not only is our own lens probably at least a bit dirty, but it also is specific. So with that, I leave you. I will be back here again next Tuesday. I'm going to the mountains, which won't interfere at all with our Tuesday classes, but I will not be at Conkling Hall either Thursday or Saturday this week. Right, so be well. Namaste. Thank you.